From its northern tip to southern tip, Latin America is the fourth largest continent, and more than 3 million people call it home. Most of these people live in urban areas. The outskirts of Latin America, there are huge lands in which very few people live. Latin America has very diverse climate zone, vegetation and topography. The people, plant and animal here have adopted the environment of extreme variation. In the west coast of Latin America, Andes Mountains, which are 20,000 feet high in some area, separate the coast from the eastern plain. The Native American live in these areas, have cattle rearing whose wool keep them warm in winter, and they also export wool. Most of Latin America is in the southern part below equator. South equator summer duration is late December to late March and winter from late June to late September, just opposite from North America. In Latin America, you find a wide variety of climate zones from tropical to Arctic. The Amazon River forest, world's largest rainforest, is in the tropical climate. Amazon rainforest spans the equator running from much of the north part of South America. The temperature of this area about 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Amazon River flow 4,000 miles from Peru to Brazil. Amazon basin have huge range of forest and many tribes still live in this area. Atacama Desert of Chile have hot and dry climate. They receive little rainfall. This area have little vegetation growth, but full of mineral. Copper, mine, metal and other mineral mine are the source of income in this area. The grassland of Argentina and Paraguay is good for crop like wheat, soya, rice and other. These areas have humid subtropical climate. Latin America have cold high mountain to wet tropical climate to grass covered land. Latin America is covered by two seas from all four sides, like Brazil and other east coast countries are by Atlantic Ocean and the western coast countries by Pacific Ocean. Lots of war and revolutionary fight were happen in Latin America for freedom. In colonial time period, lots of community came and ruled over Latin America like Spanish, Portuguese, English, French, Dutch and Spanish. In 1807, Napoleon and entire royal family came to Brazil and stayed for very long time. Due to these migration, Latin America have great racial diversity and good social hierarchy. Some racial categories in Latin America are shown in this painting, like white, black, mestizo, Indian, Indian white American, Spanish and other. Due to racial diversity in Latin America, Spanish colony set racial caste system in society. European settlement. 90% of people in Latin America are Roman Catholic and 2/3 people speak Spanish. Evolution timeline of Latin America. The economy of Latin America is lower than North America because in colonial time period, Spanish and Portuguese focused on South America to set up their colonies. At the same time, England, France and Netherlands were more focused on North America to set up their industries. The geography also played a major role of this setup. As a result, economy of Latin America is lower than North America. The trade bloc of Latin America are the movement of transition. Government are relying heavily on state intervention for economic control are beginning to align with Mercosur. On the other hand, right-wing government favoring free trade economic regime have united under the Pacific Alliance. The trading regime reflects the key fundamental disagreement about economic development and political relations in Latin America. There is no question that Latin America has seen much progress, economic progress, political progress, institutional progress, and we have to celebrate that. But on the other hand, there is a very serious problem. This remains the most violent continent in the planet. They have the highest number of homicides. Brazil had over 50,000 last year, and this is intimately linked to discrimination and inequality, which is very focused about women, migrant and other. On the other hand, deforestation, poverty, water resources, security, and industrialization also growing their leg. Out of the 12 countries in Latin America, we will now focus on Brazil and its major cities. Brazil and Argentina cover more than 60% of Latin America and play a major role in economy. The economy of Brazil based on Curitiba, Brasilia, Rio and Sao Paulo cities. Curitiba is known for its mass transit system and waste management policy, where on the other hand, Brasilia, the capital of hope, is known for its modern architecture, good road infrastructure, and it also has active housing policy for poor. But in Brasilia, things are not connected due to scattered settlement. Rio. The picture of Rio changed after Rio Olympics in 2016. Lots of urban escape and transport facility improve in Rio after Rio Olympics. Rio is famous tourist spot and also known for its port, which boosts Brazil economy. Sao Paulo, the financial center of Brazil, had good infrastructure. More than 9.6 million people travel in Sao Paulo every day. It contributes 18% of national GDP. Sao Paulo is the hub of best brand. It also has multicultural and produces 7% export good of Brazil. By 2025, 2/3 of us will be living in cities. On the other hand, urbanization drives economic growth and improves standard of living. It usually go hand in hand: pollution, heavily natural resource consumption, and mountains of waste. Now we are going to discuss Curitiba, which became an ideal city for the world. Jamie Lerner was the mayor of Curitiba 2 times between 1971 and 1992. During this period, he revolutionized the urban planning with innovative scheme, put environmental concern and social development hand in hand. His team, which is an NGO, now the forefront for the worldwide movement of urban planning, seeking green and more sustainable cities.
You've got to take me to the very, very beginning. What was step number 1 for you? I mean, over 30 years ago when you first tackled this city.
We started the idea about public transport, environment, anything that was possible to make an important change.
Were you able to find creative ways to make things happen when sometimes the financial backing wasn't there?
If you want creativity, cut 1 zero from your budget. If you want sustainability, cut 2 zeros. Because the best way to protect the environment is having people taking care of the environment. It's not about only solving problems. It's about a dream that everyone will understand, a collective dream.
Curitiba has never been wealthy city. It suffers from the same social and economic problem seen all over the world. But through creativity and innovation, it has become a model for how urban planning can incorporate environmental principles. In 1980s, Curitiba was facing lots of issues in society like robbery, mugging, violence, improper waste management, and all these issues were growing due to unemployment, poverty and lack of civic sense. At that time, city required a quick solution which resolved multiple issues simultaneously. One of the most famous schemes that Jamie Lerner introduced in 1991 is the Green Exchange Program, where low-income families exchange garbage against fresh fruit and vegetables. Local people and government both take initiative in this scheme. People use designated dustbin for garbage, which help in the process of segregation. Municipal corporation trucks collect tons of garbage after every 15 days in 1 to 2 hours and take it to the recycle plant, which are located on the outskirts of cities. 500 to 600 families collect garbage and earn vegetable and fresh fruit twice in a month. The quality check of food is checked by food inspector before it goes to the poor families, and the funding for this scheme is collected from garbage recycle plants. So here we can say Green Exchange Program scheme is take care for all from ground zero to the first person of country, and it also a next step towards our future. Curitiba, city with a typical size of 320 square kilometer but an untypical success. One element of the Curitiba master plan was to have 5 primary highways leading into the city, which are the corridor where industrial and residential development is encroached. Public transport is focused on these areas, which means that most of the citizens can easily commute between their workplace to home by buses. More than 5 lakh people travel in buses every day. This efficient transport satisfying the need of the people in available budget with the state by attempting innovation. The bus shelter was created by Jamie Lerner and as well as quick easy access to the buses. The passenger can also use one card system or one ticket system to change buses. The frequency of buses in Curitiba is in every 90 seconds. It also has separated lane for buses. Curitiba have 3 type of buses system. Number 1. Express service is made up by bi-articulated buses traveling on dedicated lanes and can carry about 13,500 passengers per lane per hour, which is higher than any light rail system capacity. These buses make up 18% of the system's daily kilometers but carry 33% of its riders. Number 2. Direct line service run parallel to the express service line on the one-way couplets, more stop than express service so that commuter can reach their destination easily. Less than a month after the introduction of this service, 28% of the former car commuter become bus rider. Number 3. Complementary service is made up of inter-district buses which operate on 115 feeder route which connect residents to their closest terminal. They serve 70% of Curitiba's residents who live within a half kilometer of a bus route. This bus system is cheaper than metro rail system. Curitiba also have separated lane for bicycle and road are designed as per cyclist convenient. In Curitiba, buses allow cycle to be carried on and main station have cycle rack located next to them where a person could lock his cycle.
Do you ride this often?
Yes, very often.
And do you find it's convenient for you?
It's very convenient, especially at rush hour. When I want to cross the city, it's quicker than a car. For example, because you have exclusive lanes for these buses and you can literally just cross the city in straight.
In Curitiba, before BRTS scheme came, people of Curitiba preferred to work around they live, and it took more than 1 hour to travel across the city. BRTS scheme changed the movement pattern of city and connect it very well in a cheaper and systematic manner. So here we can say that a similar system can be adopted across the world, taking inspiration from the Curitiba, especially in developing country for cheaper transport facility.